Hey, good day to you. This is the 5-Day Peace Challenge, David Cohen, with our guest, Jessica Carter. And this is we're also repurposing it for our Good Morning show as well. So welcome. Today we're talking about how to achieve inner peace in tumultuous times. Our guest is Jessica Carter. She's a lovely woman. She's a CSP graduate. She's a business owner, entrepreneur. And what she does is she stages your home, and she'll do such a good job that you're going to sell your home faster and for more money. And Jessica's got a big background in interior design. She's real creative. She's been doing this for a number of years. She's got experience. She's got the creativity. She's got the moxie to make your project and you selling your home work for you. Her ability to create a mood, a space, and lasting relationships makes her work, her eye for beauty, her creativity stand out from the competition. Welcome.
Thank you, David. It's so nice to be here.
Yeah, it's good to see you too. We were talking before about the last time we saw you was in April, and it was sort of the beginning of all this. And
yes,
and now we're kind of getting a little used to it.
We are. I'm glad you're back in my life, for sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I want to get used to this, but yeah, I guess we have no choice. So, you've got a pretty inspiring, story. You're a self-made business owner. People seeing you on with us right now might imagine your journey's been pretty straightforward, yet that's not always been the case. You went through a period of really total chaos on the home front. What happened, and what did you have to do to achieve peace?
So, as you know, my life was very traumatic. A lot of experiences were happening to me that either would break me or make me move forward. And I basically surrounded myself with a lot of people that were helping me see the positives in the situation instead of being the victim of the situation. So a little background. I suffered from domestic violence, and with that, all the supporters in the system are basically trying to keep you there. They're calling you constantly, asking you how you are, how to cope and all these things, which is great. It's awesome. But at the same time, when you stay in that situation where people are calling you and asking you how you're doing and stuff and trying to keep you in that state, then you're not going to move forward. So I immediately hired a business coach to help me through the process and started really watching who I was hanging out with to keep me instead of being oh, how are you? Oh, you must be going through so much and blah, blah, blah. Instead of being where do you want to be? Where do you want to go? How are we going to get you there? So it's a total different shift in your mind.
Yeah. And you're right, because they mean well, the caseworker.
They totally mean well,
right? And they
yes.
want to help you, but they're also keeping you in the story of it. And when you're in the story of it, you can't break out of that story. And I guess for healing to happen and to move through, something as serious as you went through of domestic violence and abuse and issues like that, you're right. You could have been a victim, poor me, for the rest of your life, but you focus differently. What is it inside of you that had you choose differently and had you say, you know what, I don't want to perpetuate this story anymore?
So I am a strong believer in you're supposed to grow. So if I stayed stuck in that situation or the victim or any of that state, I wouldn't be growing and I wouldn't be moving forward. I'm a big dreamer. I've always been a dreamer since I was a kid. I could never settle for what was. I'm always looking into the future of what can be. So I think just having that mindset and constantly wanting me to move forward kept me moving. I just couldn't settle. I'm never settling. So a lot of the personal development helped with that as well. You listen to these stories and people overcoming their challenges and just not settling for what is. They want to grow and keep on growing.
To me, you must let go to find peace. and balance again. And I mean, let go. And you might be letting go of relationships, and might be letting go of maybe a work situation or a business situation. How challenging was it for you to let go of that story and stand up again?
So letting go, it's funny because I always thought I did let go, and then I resurfaced again, and like all that anger and anxiety and all this pain came up, and I realized that I didn't let go. Like I suppressed it as much as possible so I can move forward, but I didn't deal with how I felt about it. So now I don't know if you know, I don't know what it's called, but it's basically you say, like, you put your hand on your heart and you say, I love you, thank you.
Oh, the Ho'oponopono prayer.
Yes, yes. And honestly, that helps so much. Anytime somebody does something bad to me, or anything that happens that is like challenging, I definitely, like, I just like place my hand on my heart and I feel it and I let it go. I let it be what it was and then let it go. And I've never experienced happiness like this before.
Wow. And when did you start to do the Ho'oponopono prayer?
Tony Robbins.
Wow. Okay. That's amazing. And because Ho'oponopono is about, you know, just letting it go with love. And
love is the number one key. It really is. If you like really like just look at people with love, like, you know, my ex and his family and all that situation is horrible. But if I can look at them and be like, I'm grateful that you gave me some children that I love. I wouldn't be where I am today without them. So I'm so grateful. Like, you have to like look at the situation and who they are and see that there is a piece that you can love. There is a piece of them.
Yeah.
And everybody.
It must have been so hard because, you know, you experience, you know, abuse and, you know, physically, mentally.
Very scary. Very.
Yeah.
Very
and scary. Like, you know, you got to fear for your life at one point.
There was a point that it was like, I have a panic button and like, it's scary.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it took a lot to get to that point of like getting there. But honestly, if you don't do it, you'll never find that inner peace. And that right there is the key to happiness.
Yeah, it's either the devil you know or the devil you don't, and you got to go for the devil you don't, and
right,
and let go and risk. You mentioned,
and that's where the resentment comes up. You're like, oh, you're letting them win, and you're doing all this stuff, but it's literally, you have to let it go. Who cares about if they're winning or not? Like, that is your little mind talking to you, telling you, let's stay stuck.
Yeah, and you're so right, especially in an abusive relationship. And a lot of people are going through it right now, being isolated at home. Maybe their partner's narcissistic, or there's abuse going on. You gotta bail, man. Like, you gotta, for your own peace of mind, you gotta just like, I'm done.
Yes. I think that is like, you have to really know your priorities and where you want to be, because that will be like the clean line for you. It's basically like life or death. And you'll see, if you write it down and you're like, okay, I'm getting stuck because of this, you can just like make that inner peace with it and be like, okay, you know what, I'm going to move forward because I want to live. If I'm back here trying to like live in that state with that person, you're dying, you're dead. Like, you're not moving.
No. And you could, you know, you could be your life.
Yeah.
Or, you know,
it could be.
Yeah.
I laugh about it now, but you know, there wasn't a laughing point a couple of years ago. So.
Oh, I bet. How did you manage that fear and those emotions at that time?
It was the people around me. Like, if I didn't have, you know, people come into your life for a reason or a season, and the person that was helping me through it, she basically like said, if you don't call the cops, I'm going to. So like, she forced my hand, and I knew it was the right thing to do. But like, at the same time, like, I was scared of, you know, like going through a court battle again for the kids. And I have a previous relationship that I spent almost like $200,000 in court. So like,
right.
I totally know, like, these are things that were keeping me stuck in this situation. it was hard. It was really hard. But the minute I made that step, it was like a baby step. And then the next step came forward. And you can't think about where it's going to be. Like, I think that's where the fear comes in. It's like, oh my goodness, all these things are going to happen. You just deal with the situation in front of you. Deal with what happens afterwards. You know, like, who cares about the court? Don't care about that. You know, it's been 2 years and I'm just going into court now. So it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, and
But
you're
before,
probably,
it was so overwhelming. You know what I mean?
yes. So you got overwhelmed by the bigness of it all. Whereas
Yes.
here you are, you got to move through your life. You've now regrouped. You're stronger. You're healthier. And now you're going into the court system, and you're better.
So strong.
Yeah.
So, and you know what? I found my self-worth, which I didn't have before. You know, I allowed other people's opinions count over my own. So now it's like I had to do that growing by myself to figure out, like, no, I'm standing my ground. This is the way that it should be. And that's it. And then, like, again, moving forward.
What did it take for you to find your self-worth? Like, if somebody's watching today saying, oh my God, that's me. And
Okay,
their
that was
self-worth and
probably one of the hardest things, David, because I am definitely, I was a people pleaser, like constantly caring what other people thought. Like, it didn't matter. It would be like, even a stranger walking down the street, if I like rolled to a stop sign and didn't fully stop, I'm like, you know, like, oh, they're judging me. Like, and I think I came to realize that you are a mirror of your own reflection. So like, I stopped judging other people and I stopped judging myself, and just, you know, like, you know, I'm trying to improve, but I'm okay with who I am. I'm grateful. That gratitude journal that I have every night, I write in 3 things that I'm grateful for. And a lot of it is like my growth. I'm so grateful. So I think just like getting down to the roots of like who you're supposed to be, figuring out who you want to be, and hanging out with those people that are already where you want to be.
And so who did you want to be?
That confident woman that didn't take crap from anybody.
Yeah.
But I want to do it like, and I definitely am there. I just want to do it more peacefully. So like, I'm working on that love part, because I definitely have that strong bone in me, and it's very masculine. I need to get into that feminine part, right? So that's what I'm working on right now.
I hear you. I'm a Scorpio, and I can be a bit of a bull in a china shop too. You know?
Right.
Yeah. It's like, you know,
right.
let me loose. You know, it's funny. I went through something about back in April, just after we had we did our work together for that youth entrepreneurship initiative. And I went through a week of like, I gave up, right? And what it was is I had to get in touch with my emotions and feelings, and I had to let relationships go mentally, not in person.
Right.
So I wrote like real, like, I call them FU letters, pardon the languaging, everybody. And then, so I let all my emotion and anger out in the letter. I don't send it. And then I did the Ho'oponopono prayer, right? I love you.
Awesome.
Right? And I wrote it. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. And then I burned the letters.
Amazing. What did you feel the weight off your shoulders immediately?
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
I swear it's so amazing. Like, that weight, you will feel it lift from you.
Yeah. So it's all online. Joe Vitale, who is in The Secret, talks about it. That's his whole work is the Ho'oponopono work.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So what else did you discover about yourself in this change and this transformation? Like, what other aspects of you did you discover?
I feel like what happens is, like, you get lonely. Like, there was some points where I was like, you know, like, I really want to get into a relationship. I talked to my life coach about it and stuff, and I was like, you know, I don't think that I'm supposed to be in this life by myself, doing everything on my own, being this independent. But I do. Like, right now, I really do. And I think that would be a distraction for me, and that I'm putting my worth in somebody else. Like I'm looking for that relationship to like anchor me into who I'm supposed to be, but I can do that all on my own. So I'm really turning into like that spiritual person, you know, not worrying about finding somebody. I know that person will come into my life when that time comes, like when it's supposed to. But again, I'm just so grateful. Like I'm grateful for this opportunity to have this time on my own that I've never really been on my own. To like find some values in myself and my parenting and every single aspect of my life. So I'm grateful.
I love that. What are some values that sort of have, you know, that guide you in your life now? What are some guiding values that helped you through the stormy waters and that are at play now?
Okay, so honesty is number one for me. Always stay honest. You know, like there'll be some times where you want to lie, like little lies, and you know it's all fine, but at the same time it doesn't align with who I am. And there was one time that I did say like a little lie, like it was like so minor, and I got caught in it. And from that little lie,
I love the laugh. The laugh is that sort of that inner child.
Oh my gosh, David!
Oh, I got one over on somebody.
Like
you know?
that little lie caused me so much pain and disheartening and anxiety and anger and like every single thing. It cost me so much. It was not worth it. And that right there was a test for me to like keep me in line with what my true values are. I can't lie. You can look at me and ask me something, you could tell right away that I'm lying. And it was like so minor. It was like, did you deliver this thing? And I said yes, but I didn't. And then I got caught.
Oh no. My sisters, I have older sisters, right? And they say, we know when you're lying. Oh, how? Because you blink a lot. It's like, damn.
Yeah, it's funny. Like we're just not good at it.
No, and they got me figured out.
And I think that's a good quality, not to be like we have to be honest, and it sucks sometimes that you have to be honest because you don't want to hurt people's feelings or like. And I always try to like, are you sure you want to know or what? Like, my honest opinion. But in the end, like that's who I am, an honest person, and I won't hear from that.
Truth is hard, and some people, to quote the old Jack Nicholson line in that movie, you can't handle the truth.
Yeah.
And sometimes you'll lie because you fear that the other person can't handle the truth, and that the repercussions of you sharing your truth are going to come back to you. Like the repercussions are worse than the lie.
It's so true. And so it's that inner peace. Like I lost it. I literally lost it.
Yeah.
It was horrible, and it went for days, like a couple of days, and then I fessed right up and I made it right. But and that set me free. Like I might have lost somebody in the end, which I didn't, but I could have, like that fear again of losing that person, of coming clean. But at the same time, it was like I am who I am. So I made a mistake. I'm human. I'm learning from it, and this is the truth. And take it or leave it.
Yeah.
And they took it. So I'm so grateful.
I'd love to see a world where one day we can speak our truth and we could be okay with it. Like look at all the organizations, the government, corporations that lie. They lie to the stockholders and the stakeholders and the customers, right? And it's like enough. Like tell us, give us the truth. We might not like it, but we'll handle it, and at least we know where you stand. And
right.
And it'd be nice to have companies in future where you can be real and open and honest with each other and tell the truth and not get fired for it. It's like, yeah, that would be really cool. Are there any other values that you sort of adhere to that you feel helps you,
like integrity along, like, is high up there as well, doing the right thing when even no one's looking. again, because that's that inner peace in me. So like I'm, I will stop at that stop sign at like 3 o'clock in the morning because I know it's the right thing to do regardless. I think, and that helped me really with my journey. Like, I think all these challenges that I've faced are a result of who I'm becoming. Like when I do go to court, I always have like the documents of this is how it is. And it really, really formed me of who I am.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm hearing to underneath all this,
Yeah.
self-love. How important is self-love towards what you went through and towards your approach to your life now?
Huge. Huge. Okay. So like, I will never, ever in my life give up on myself. So that comes down to like, hiring the right people, doing the personal development, waking up early in the morning. I'm now not even sleeping in. Like I literally, we're in a pandemic. You don't have to get up. You don't have to do anything. But like my lifestyle didn't change. I get up every morning. I get up before my alarm clock now. I work out every morning, shower, do every single thing that is a routine that you're supposed to do. If you stop doing that, I think that's where like the depression, everything comes in, the negative situations. So you have to stay on top of it, and that's the integrity again, even when no one's looking. This is
Yeah.
who I am, and these are my standards, and I'm moving forward.
Yeah. Like carry yourself high,
You have to.
And look, if you miss a day of showering or exercise, then that's all right.
It's not like the end of the world, but
No.
it's not who you are. Like
No.
you will continue moving forward and doing those things daily because in the end of what it brings to you. It's not of getting fit. It's like helping your mind. It's helping you move forward. It's not giving in to those little things like, oh, I'm going to press snooze because I can press snooze. That does something to your subconscious mind saying, oh, I don't need to do these things. So you're exercising that muscle to like, what, I'm important. I'm going to do these things because it's important. Yeah. And then, and you are a product, right? So like you see like my kids are modeling everything that I'm doing because they see me doing it. They're not going to give up on life because those are not their standards.
Yeah, you just got to show up and keep showing up.
Show up every day.
And the most important person to show up for is you.
Yeah.
And
every day.
Yeah, every day. Or as best you can. Look, you're gonna have a day off.
Yeah, and like that's where the baby steps come, right? So like if you're going through depression, if you're going through something crazy, like I've been there. If you're going through that, you take that little step. That little step might be, I'm going to call somebody for help today. I'm going to reach out to a person. I'm going to do personal development. It could be something so small. I'm going to read like 30 minutes today. I'm going to exercise. I'm going to walk around the block. Like it can come down to like so little steps, but those little steps will add up. It's like building a house. So you can only do one brick at a time. You can't do it all.
Yeah. I remember I had a foot issue about 1.5 years ago, and I was in a cast, and I had to sponge bath myself every day.
Fun.
Yeah, and there were some days it's like I don't feel like it, and it's like do it.
The minute you don't feel like doing it, you have to do it. And that was a Tony Robbins thing that I learned, that he jumps into a shower every day, so cold. And it's not that he wants to, but he does it before his mind says he can't.
Yeah. Plus he has you walk on coals.
Yes, he does.
you had to take a stand for yourself in a really, brutal situation. When you did that, when you took a stand for Jessica and your children, what shifted and changed?
That I mattered. So it came down to that, like, this is not right. You can't treat somebody like this, especially if you love them. So it came down to like, I mattered. And again, it was that muscle is the exercising, right? So that little step helped me move forward. And every single time something else happened, I wasn't settling for what was. Like there still had like, that fear was still there. But at the same time, like I wanted to move forward. So that was a constant reminder.
So if someone's watching us today and they're going through maybe a painful relationship or a bad boss or whatever, what advice would you share?
I think being stuck in that atmosphere, you are never ever going to grow. So like if you have a bad boss that is keeping you stuck and treating you like crap, or a relationship in any way, like it doesn't even have to be that they're physically abusive. They can be mentally, emotionally, financially. There's so many different abuses. I'm telling you, the minute you make that shift of removing out of that toxic environment, you change. It is for the better. That fear of staying stuck, because you're unsure what is going to happen, is only going to get better. You have to make that move. Like quit your job.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Maybe not quit it like immediately, but like start looking for something, or maybe even approaching your boss, you know, and building up that muscle of being like, you know, I don't think this is right, the way that you're treating me. This is how I feel. And maybe they don't even know that they're doing it, you know, but taking a stand for yourself is number one. Never settle.
You got to go through some short-term pain, and, you know, life was a little tumultuous once you made the shift and you left the relationship. For somebody who's saying, yeah, but I'm going to lose my house, I'm going to lose this, I'm going to lose the life I knew, I'm going to lose my job, I could be on unemployment, I don't know when I'm going to get a new job in this environment. Again, what would you share? How would you coach?
Okay. So if I was in that situation, what I find, like if I had the extra time, I would start volunteering. I feel like when you volunteer and you start giving back, and you just get that energy because everybody's doing it as well that is there, then you're opening your broadness, like you're starting to network. So the first thing you can do is start volunteering, especially in this, like we're in a pandemic right now. So like, I'm sure there's tons of people that need help. So I would get out there, start networking, volunteer, do something good because it feels great to give back. And then you could start moving forward. You know, you might go into work with a different emotion, right? So you maybe all these things that you're focused on of your boss, it becomes different, right? Because before you're just focused, oh, they're out to get me and blah, blah, blah. But now you can feel focused on something else and come to work with a different mindset. And then if that doesn't work, then you could start like maybe distancing yourself, talk to that person, and then start looking for another position or job.
Yeah, I love that. And that's great advice. I remember going through my marriage breakup, and in my life, like I hit the skids, like financially, emotionally, everything. Mm-hmm. But I volunteered, and you know what I volunteered with?
What?
It was with a program called Out of the Cold. And it was a multi-faith program, like churches, synagogues, mosques, which house homeless people, feed them dinner. They'd sleep over and get out like a warm night, and then we'd feed them breakfast. And I used to go in at breakfast, and I was on the cleanup team. So
that is incredible. Man, how did it make you feel?
I thought, as bad as I have it, because I came close. I came close to not to being there at that time. This is like 25 years ago. I thought, as bad as I have it, I can still give.
Yeah. And we all have it in us.
Mm-hmm.
It feels great. Like that's the number one thing that like we can do. So it doesn't cost anything. So there's no excuse.
So what brings you joy today?
Right now I feel the joy of having my children. I've had a connection with them that I've never really had because of the situations that I was in prior, and then now in a pandemic. So the ability to work. So we literally had to stay at home together, and like just that connection and closeness, and know why I show up every day is because of them.
And you're good at Minecraft.
Yeah, I'm not good at Minecraft.
Okay, I'm not either.
My daughters build me houses. Yeah. I'm like, oh, we can use that at my work.
Am I showing my age if I told you that Super Mario and blades
of
steel?
I'm with you. I'm totally with you.
So now, like many of us going through changes personally, you're also being affected by what's going on. How's your business going? I know you've you've done some changing and shifting. So yeah, you can.
So business, I shut down.
Okay.
We stopped working in March. We're slowly getting back to it now. I think that everybody's just going to be shifting and dealing with what is. That was a hard thing, you know, the fear of like I shut down before anybody else did. But again, it didn't align with my values of staying open. So again, it's this not worrying. Don't worry about what's going to happen tomorrow. Just deal with today.
Yeah, because you had the home staging, Spotlight on Style. So,
Yep.
And you can't really go into someone's home right now, but you were doing it a little bit remotely, weren't you?
Well, yes. So I definitely shifted that way. So I basically give free consultations to anybody that's looking to get help in their home. So basically we're just doing it via FaceTime or WhatsApp. And I come into your home and help you. Like, you don't even have to be selling. I'm just helping anybody that needs, you know, some advice, which is great.
I think it's still going to be a needed service, because if we are,
it's totally
God
needed.
forbid there's this, you know, a second wave and we're still going to be at home.
Yeah.
At least we want to make our homes look nice and make our home an oasis, right?
Right.
Yeah. I was on a call the other day with a fellow who sells hot tubs, and he said they've like doubled their sales last month.
Oh yeah, because everybody's home, right? Like
yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I've been looking for a trampoline for the last 3 months.
Well, you got to jump to it. Pardon the pun. I'm sure they're out there, but you know. So he's like, I was shocked. Like, what, sales are up? It's like,
that's amazing.
I
love it.
Isn't that
people are spending money? Everybody,
yeah, people are spending money. Still. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the minute, like, I think Winners opened last week.
Oh
the
gosh.
minute Winners opened, there was a lineup to get in, right? So,
oh my gosh.
So
the essentials, right?
Oh, for sure. So my last kind of question is, what strategies and actions do you take daily now to keep you moving forward and to keep your vibe high?
So the daily things that I do is definitely I get up before my alarm clock. I exercise daily, regardless. Like, if it's Sunday, I still exercise. I have my journal. I have a gratitude journal that I write into every night. Like, there's no exceptions. I have to do it. I have a personal and business coach, and I am hiring a personal trainer as well. So like, you constantly have to have those people in your life that are going to push you to your limits.
Yeah.
Surpass your limits.
Yeah.
Because you push yourself to your limits.
So did you surprise yourself through all this, that you could get through it and you can?
I think no, because this is who I always thought that like I would be. Like, I in deep down, I always knew that I wanted more. I always longed for more. So it didn't surprise me. I sometimes look back and I'm like, wow, I've come so far. Like, I don't even recognize who that person was before. So like, there is a big shift in that. And I'm just, every day I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful.
And my last question is, who was it that influenced you the most in your life to be who you are?
Tony Robbins.
Wow. Okay.
I know. I'm a groupie. No, definitely. Like, I think when I started doing that personal development and understanding like why I was making the choices that I was and why I was hanging out with people that I was, I really, like, I owe him a lot.
So who introduced you to him? It wasn't Kara, was it?
No, Kara and I met at Tony Robbins. It's funny. I started doing Beachbody. I was doing Beachbody coaching, and part of our homework was we had to do 30 minutes of personal development, and I pretty much just came across Tony Robbins in that. And I was like, oh, he's pretty awesome. And then it was on my bucket list that I had to do one of his courses, and now I've done like 3. So
wow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I'll tell you the story with with Kara, I went to see Tony Robbins, and I was working at Essential then in Ottawa.
Yeah.
And he was in
Oh,
Ottawa.
wow.
And the reason I went to Ottawa was I heard a rumor that he didn't ever want to come to Toronto. And so I heard that he was in Ottawa, and I bought tickets, and I did a road trip with a friend. We stayed at my sister's overnight because I'm originally from Ottawa. And we saw him. It was March 5th. Had to be the coldest day of the freaking year. It was minus 30. We walked from the parking lot outside to the convention center in Ottawa. And it like the wind was so cold we were crying, my friend and I. Anyway, we finally got inside, and I told Kara about it, and she went, that was like 12, 13, 14 years ago. And so I introduced her to that. And another colleague of ours that you probably know, Sue Selflove, is also at that event. So I brought a few Torontonians to see.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how did you find the event?
Oh, it was amazing.
Crazy.
Yeah, because he had like Les Brown as well speaking.
Oh, I saw him too. Yeah,
Jim
awesome.
Cannon, and then Andy Nolan from Just for Laughs, and yeah, it was like a wild day. Oh, Suzanne Somers from Three's Company.
Yeah.
She spoke. Yeah, it was like great. And then he had us up, going yes, 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 right? And then I saw him again here with Oprah when Oprah was here.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so cool.
Yeah.
Jess, where do we connect with you if we want to, maybe get a little coaching from you?
Oh, cool. You can check me out on Facebook, I guess.
Okay.
You can go Spotlight on Style Durham Region, I think it is.
Okay.
Or Jess Spotlight, I think. I don't know. Or you can just email me, jessica@spotlightonstyle.ca.
All right. And so if you're going, for those watching, if you're going through tumultuous relationships and pain and challenges, maybe even talk to Jess about coaching you through it, because, she's done it and been there and went through the dark, and now definitely is in the light. So you're a really shining example. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
For doing
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure. And we've got more shows, so stay with us. We have another couple more guests in the next few days. So if you like what you see, let other people know. And in the meantime, have a really peaceful day.
Take care. Bye.
Oh.